September 7th, 2011 was supposed to be our son Mitchell's first day of 8th grade, but it wasn't meant to be. After months of having pain in his legs and his tailbone, it really came to a crescendo in those early morning hours. Mitchell was then 13, and it was the middle of the night, and he was experiencing a lot of pain, and he asked me to pray with him. And he said, God, I don't know what I have done to deserve this unrelenting pain, but please forgive me. And it was in that moment that I had total clarity that something was really, really wrong, and I needed to get my son to the hospital. So I woke my husband. He's right back there. I grabbed my slippers, and we made a frantic drive to Sacred Heart Emergency Department. In the time it took for us to get from our house to Sacred Heart, Mitchell's pain was so unbearable that I could barely get him out of the car. And from here, my memories of this experience are really just kind of in a time warp. We're all of a sudden back in a room. They've started an IV, they've drawn blood. Mercifully, they've given him pain meds, and the doctor is examining him, and we noticed there's a small, strange speckled rash on his back that I had never seen before. It confused me. If you are a parent with a child with cancer, you know what that was. Something called petechiae. The doctor wants an x-ray because his pain is in his legs and his tailbone. And so as they're wheeling his gurney out to take him to x-ray, she stops me, and they wheel Mitchell away, and she walks me back into room 64, and standing behind her is the chaplain, and I freeze. I know something's really wrong. It's not good when you see the chaplain in that sort of context. And Dr. Horning says to me, Carrie, we know why Mitchell is in such pain. It's his bone marrow. And I shake my head no, and she gently says the words to me that break my soul into a million pieces and will change Mitchell's life forever. She says, we think he has leukemia. So now the chaplain is literally kneeling with me on the floor. We're still in room 64. Mitchell's still at x-ray, and he is saying a prayer with me, and I can't breathe. I am grateful that he knows what to say because I don't have words, I don't have breath. And he asked me if there's anything that he can bring me, and I look him in the eye and I say, vodka. Shortly thereafter, a warm glass of apple juice arrived. Request denied. It's worth a try. But quickly I sort of snap into that efficient mom mode that we all have as moms, and I think, oh God, I gotta kind of pull myself together here before Mitchell gets back from x-ray. What do I need to do here? So task one, I really gotta pull myself together because there is no way I am going to drop this news on Mitchell without his dad here, and I'm a terrible liar, so I gotta kind of pull myself together. Task number two, it's still the first day of school for my daughter Mallory, and I need her to get off to school for her first day of school without kind of knowing what's happening yet. So my first call is to one of my best friends, Marty, and I tell her, you gotta go get her. We're not sure what's going on with Mallory, but I need you to go right now at 6 a.m. and pick up my daughter while you're trying to get your 3 kids ready for school too. And she does. And we should all be blessed with those types of friends that will drop everything and go in your time of need, and she did. And task number 3 is I ask God for strength to call my husband, because it means I'm going to have to say the words out loud. I'm going to have to say out loud they think Mitchell has leukemia, and I know as soon as I say this to him, his world's gonna shatter. And I make that call, and we have what is one of the worst conversations of our lives. And we're ending our conversation. He's in a hurry to get here, and I become aware that I am still in my pajamas, and I say, "Oh, God, by the way, honey, will you please bring me a bra?" And I will never forget the sight of my husband walking through the emergency room doors holding nothing but my bra. And he dug deep into that bra drawer because it was like a corset. I don't even know where he found it. But it went into the garbage, and I always wondered what the housekeeper thought when they went to empty the garbage of our room and said, "What the heck happened in here?" But it set the tone for what would be now a 3-year journey of us, of a really horrific 3 years, but peppered with moments of laughter and humor. And that is how our journey started. That's how Mitchell's fierce battle with leukemia began. And we were to learn in the days that followed that he had a particular deadly type of leukemia, Philadelphia positive acute lymphoblastic leukemia. The odds were not in his favor. We virtually lived at the hospital for the first year of high-dose chemotherapy, and we made the decision to enroll him in a clinical trial for a new experimental drug that we hope was his best chance of survival. Our world instantly became incredibly small. Chemo, fever, puke buckets, blood counts, insurance. Instantly gone were soccer, friends, sleepovers, homework, my ability to juggle 18,000 things all at once while wearing heels. Nothing else mattered. Nothing else could. Caring for a child with cancer is all-consuming. By the end of the second year, things got a little easier. We were kind of getting the pace of all of this down and adapting and adjusting. And of course, I'm fast forwarding through like a whole 2 years of a lot of stuff. But he was able to even go back to school a little bit. He snow skied with friends. He got up on water skis. Got to live a little bit of life. And then after 2 years, despite our best efforts, his cancer came back. And this time there were no treatment decisions to be made. His only option was a bone marrow transplant in Seattle. When families are first thrust into the new world of cancer, it most likely involves weeks in the hospital. You find yourself there unexpectedly, in crisis, no bra, no basics. The American Childhood Cancer Organization is also there with you. You see, ACCO has a daily presence on our pediatric oncology unit here in town. Marianne, Patty, Denise, these are women that are your gentle companions through this horrifying world. An amazing, practical, meaningful gift arrives from the moment you're diagnosed. And it is an overnight bag. I think Alex referenced it. And it's filled with all kinds of items that make your unexpected moments there a little bit easier. A toothbrush, I was super grateful for that. Real Kleenex, that was a super big deal because you go through that tiny little box of hospital Kleenex in like the first 15 minutes, and it's horrible. Aspirin, notepads, gum, a childhood cancer resource book, and then a binder that kind of serves as your how-to guide. There was no bra in there, Marianne, and I was looking. If you guys donate enough today, maybe it's something we can add to the bag. Poor Marianne, she tried to deliver this bag to me, I think at least 3 times, with me kicking her out of the room every time. before I realized that she actually had resources that I really needed. And she was patient with me. She met me where I was at. Literally there at the hospital. She met me where I was at. But let me sort of paint the picture of what this looks like, 2-3 days in. I was in full-on mama bear kick cancer, but self-appointed team leader of the Team Mitch program, unshowered for days, sleep deprived, one Pampers commercial away from a complete and total epic meltdown. It wasn't pretty, but Marianne didn't bat an eye. She had been there before. She knew, and she had endured worse. So almost exactly a year ago, Mitch and I moved to Seattle for 5 months for his transplant last year. Gratefully, we found a donor relatively quickly, and we moved. I lost my job. We were separated from our friends and family, and we were desperate to save his life. And ACCO was there for us, even when we weren't even in Spokane any longer. Monthly gas and grocery gift cards helped to soften the blow, and I felt the love 300 miles away, and that meant the world to me. I am pleased to share with you, especially that Mitchell's transplant was a success and his cancer remains in remission. The unique beauty of ACCO is that they literally meet families fighting cancer where they are and offer individualized support. This is the organization, the people that are really in the trenches with you in the days, the months, the years as your child endures treatment or navigates the world of cancer survivorship, or for those families reinventing life after the loss of the one thing you can't ever imagine you could live without. Your child. ACCO provides families practical, tangible, meaningful resources, guest cards, cafeteria cards, emergency fund support group. ACCO knows what families need in this long journey, and they give it from the very first day and beyond. I want to share a video that gets to the heart of what ACCO is all about.